Years on the road with screaming fans, amplified guitars, and loud drums will eventually take its toll on you. And it's no surprise to find out that some rock stars eventually turn into pill-popping alcoholics. And in that inebriated state, it can be difficult to discern what is real and what is not. However, when that special someone comes along, it doesn't matter what mental state you're in, you know that that feeling you get is real. And that's where this story begins. So, does A Star Is Born deliver on the music and the drama hinted at in the trailers? Or is this just one long Lady Gaga music video? Let's talk about it in this review. This story revolves around two musicians, Jackson Maine, played by Bradley Cooper, who is a career musician, rock star, whose life on the road has turned him into a pill-popping alcoholic. He's reached that low point where he is numb to feeling anything real. That is until one evening where he decides to stumble his way into a bar, and that's where he meets Allie, played by Lady Gaga. There is an instant connection between the two, and eventually their love blossoms into their marriage. So we can clearly see just from this little bit that there is a lot of potential for this story. Let's dig deeper. Unfortunately, and this might not be the popular opinion, but to me, this film did feel like two different stories running at the same time. Half of this film felt like a heartfelt story about loving somebody who is struggling with addiction, as well as watching an individual deal with addiction. The other half of the film felt like I was watching a live concert. Now, for a film about two musicians, I expected a lot of scenes that deal with live performances, rehearsals, studio recording time, etc. But since these aren't real people, I would have enjoyed more time watching them get to know each other and watching their relationship develop and seeing the chemistry between the two of them more than their music. This way, by the end of the film, the death of Jackson Maine actually carries real emotional significance when we see Allie's emotional breakdown. In other films about real-life musicians, for example, Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash story, Ray, the Ray Charles story, and the Rat Pack, with Frank Sinatra and team helping get JFK elected. Those are real songs from real artists, because those are actual musical icons, literal music icons that I grew up listening to. So seeing all of those songs recreated on the big screen, it carried its own special magic for me. And since I don't know Jackson or Allie, because they aren't real people and they aren't musical icons, watching them rehearse and perform, less is more. There was one scene I really enjoyed, and that's the scene where we see Allie in the studio trying to record a vocal track. And Jackson realizes what the problem is, so he calls for the piano to be brought in so that she can actually do a live recording while she's playing the piano and singing. And I enjoyed this scene in particular because it goes back to what I wanted, more time with them and establishing their relationship. Because this shows that Jackson was really paying attention to her. Because when you truly love someone and care about them, you know how they work, right? You know how to bring out the best in them, and you're paying attention so that you can bring out the best in them to get that performance. It was a very quick scene, but I thought it was an incredibly powerful scene for the film because, again, it showcases their relationship and it also allows us to see some of Lady Gaga's vocal talent. So, win-win. In all, this film is split between an incredibly powerful, dramatic performance by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga's insanely, incredibly talented voice. Cooper gives an incredibly transformative performance. At times, I kept forgetting that it was him who was actually playing that lead role. Lady Gaga's acting chops also surprised me as well because there were certain scenes and certain close-ups that showcased the emotional range that she was able to deliver in this film. The believable emotion that she delivered with her father, while Bradley Cooper's character is passed out drunk right after she wins the Grammy, and he's laid out in the shower fully dressed. Also later in the film when she's smashing all of the posters in the hallway. She did a really good job in some of these scenes delivering dramatic, believable moments. In short, I wanted more time with them, not their music. However, that doesn't mean I haven't been bumping the soundtrack for the last couple of days because it's actually a really good soundtrack. So take a listen, worth it. Star Is Born is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am definitely recommending a big screen viewing of this film. It delivers a lot of really great, believable, emotional moments, and Cooper's performance is fantastic. And as you just heard, some of the songs in this film are very good. If you would have told me I would have been blasting this soundtrack with the windows down before I saw the film, I would have said you're crazy. But the soundtrack is really that good. In review, my biggest complaint with this film is that I wanted more time getting to know Jackson and Allie and watching their relationship blossom and grow. More interaction between the two of them and less of them rehearsing and performing. I would have been happy even getting more screen time and more development with the character Bobby, played by Sam Elliott. This film had incredible potential and it delivers on most of it. But because at times it did feel like two different stories, right? The dramatic and the live performance, I can't give it all the high fives. So, A Star is Born will be getting both high fives instead. A Star is Born is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I'm going to recommend that you get out to the theater with the absolute best sound to see this film and be ready to rock.